Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Hannibal, this is Magnificence. Today's going to be a little bit, and this is Haley of course. And today what we're going to do on this episode is just, chit chat a little bit. I'll tell you what gets me going in terms of fragrances, what I do for a living, who I am, how much time I spend on fragrances every day, how I got into fragrances, and who inspired me in the beginning. Haley, what are you doing? Get out of our video! I'm going to tell you a little bit more about myself, fragrance-wise and personally. We're going to be talking about maybe 10 or 11 fragrances that really stand out to me. Basically, most of them are from my favorite house, or the house that I most find myself gravitating to. My favorite fragrance houses, my least liked fragrance houses, my favorite fragrance, my least favorite fragrance, who inspired me in the beginning of this journey, who still inspires me today. I'll tell you a little bit about my personal life as well, what I do for a living, etc. So stay tuned, we'll just chat. You guys can leave me comments below telling me what you think of the video. If you have any questions you can ask, and maybe I'll do a Q&A later. It's just a growing channel, but I want to get you guys to know me better, and I want to get to know you guys better. So I'm Hannibal, this is Magnificence. Stay tuned and roll my music.
Al ver el sol brillar de tu rostro al despertar, lo único que hago.
Okay, so first of all, let me just introduce myself first. As I said before, my name is Hannibal Yaziji. I am a doctor. Specifically, I'm a type of doctor called an oncologist. That means that I diagnose and treat patients with cancer. Yes, as you may imagine, it is a very tough job, especially in the emotional part of it, and that's why you have to find something that you're passionate about, that you can just come home and forget about all what happened at work and just concentrate on that. And for me, it's fragrances, and that's how when I picked up fragrances in the beginning, that goes back to about 2000 and goes way back to about 2010. That's when I really got into fragrances. I had more than 10 bottles in my collection, and that's when I started to really focus on them. For a very long time, between 2010 and 2018, 8 years, I was just rotating 10 different fragrances in my collection. Some of them was repeated over and over again. Every time a bottle finished, I just purchased another one. Now, my fragrance journey, per se, began when I was around 11. And I've told this story before. I was going to Syria, where my parents are from, and they bought a bunch of bottles for me to take to Syria for family that's there, perfumes. The ones that I got, I think, were Shalimar by Guerlain. I got Cool Water by Davidoff, Tommy Hilfiger by Tommy by Tommy Hilfiger, a bunch of other ones. But those three were the ones that most stood out to me. And the reason for that is because when I got them, as soon as I reached Syria, I unboxed the Davidoff and the Tommy and smelled them, and I loved both of them so much that I didn't give them to the persons who were supposed to receive them. And when I got back home, obviously I got in trouble. But so it goes. I learned a lesson: don't steal fragrances, that's not good. In any case, I kept repeating the Cool Water and the Tommy Hilfiger until 2010, when I started to buy more fragrances. And at that point in time, I had Gucci for Men, I had Gucci Made to Measure, I think, if that's the one I'm thinking about. While it's clear in my head, I can't remember the name properly. And a bunch of other stuff that right now is not coming to me, but that's what I was doing. I was just rotating them. The ones that come, I would use them up. Once the bottle is finished, I rotate them and buy another one, and so on. The ones that just kept in there were Gucci Made to Measure, and I had the Cool Water and the Tommy Hilfiger. Those were always in my collection. So as time went on, I started to watch fragrance review videos, and that started in about 2018. At which point, the first fragrance reviewer that I got into was, obviously, Power! Jeremy Fragrance. Yes, and I really enjoyed his videos. Back then, he was making some really great content. He still makes a lot of content now. It's getting a little bit repetitive, but I do give that guy kudos and props, endless props, for what he has been able to do with the gift of fragrance, YouTube fragrance reviewing success. This guy is a millionaire just because he made it big on YouTube, and that's kudos to him. And the fact that he's able to put out 6 videos every single day, though they are repetitive, though some of them border on the insane, but he is doing it and he's able to be consistent with it, which is admirable. So Jeremy, kudos. Second guy I started to watch was Cubano, Angel from Cubano. Man, that's still one of my favorite channels today. I really enjoy watching him. He's very funny. He's not as in-depth as somebody like Adolescence, which is the third guy I started watching, Stephen from Adolescence. But he brings humor to it, and he inspires me because I like making jokes, and I like to bring some humor into it. I like to make it as interactive as possible, make you guys smile. Hopefully I don't come off as a little bit over the top at times, which I tend to be able to do, but you know, working on that. Long story short, yeah, first was Jeremy Fragrance, then Angel from Cubano, then you had Steven Garvalatos from Adolescence. I'm sorry if I butchered your last name, bro. You are an inspiration. Then I started watching Ashton from Gent Sense, still watch him very heavily. Justin Copeland from Stay Fresh Production, but I really enjoy his videos, especially the ones that he makes now with Grace. They're very interactive. It's good to get two people's opinions who are so charismatic and have such a presence like those two. And you cannot be in the fragrance game and not know the perfume guy, the black hat, the legend, Sebastian. Now look, him, Ashton, Steven, they're on a level of their own in terms of knowledge of fragrances, but for sure, every single time Cubano drops a video, I gotta be on it because he has it, whatever it is. Okay, so that covers my introduction to fragrances, I guess, who I am, why do I use fragrances, why am I infatuated. As I said before, it gives me a little bit of a distraction from the stress and the sadness, emotional roller coaster, which is my job. Other than that, I really appreciate how expressive fragrance can be and how it can evoke memory, emotion. I just love fragrances because you not only get to express yourself by what fragrance you wear, but you get to understand in a way or envision your own interpretation to that fragrance which someone else made, probably envisioning something totally different. So now I'm going to be talking about my favorite fragrance houses, my least favorite fragrance houses. I have about 11 fragrances here, give or take, more or less, one or two. Maybe if I get inspired, I'll go and get 2 or 3 more. But here, as of now, I have 11 fragrances that are going to be my favorite fragrance, my least favorite fragrance, and the whole collection that I have from my favorite fragrance house. I'll also be telling you what my least favorite fragrance house is. So, yeah. And just because it's easier this way, I'm going to go into my favorite fragrance and my least favorite or least worn fragrance out of the collection that I have. And then after that, I'm going to go into my favorite fragrance house and my least favorite fragrance house and just talk about the fragrances that I have from my favorite fragrance house. I don't know if that makes sense. I don't have any fragrances from my least favorite fragrance house because I sold all of them. Okay, go, just go away. All right, so let's start. And my favorite fragrance of all time is, yes, this one. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you know how much I love this fragrance. I've been wearing this for a very long time, as you probably now know because of the history I gave you. But this fragrance, man, Jesus, this is just perfection in a bottle. It's fresh, it's masculine, it's sweet, it's unisex at the same time. It's just so deep, it's so well blended, well made. It doesn't smell cheap by any means. It doesn't smell that synthetic, although there's no naturals in this for sure. Man, it smells amazing, and it will always be in my collection. The nose behind this one is Annie Buzantian and Alberto Marias, and you can't expect any less from Alberto Marias for a fresh summer spring fragrance. This is absolutely eloquent. It's just orgasmic. It's wonderful. Notes in here are mint, bergamot, lavender, citruses, some florals, and a very clean base of something green and a bit of amberiness. That's wonderful. I really like it. You guys need to get your nose on this one. If you're new to fragrances especially, this is a good one to start with. My least favorite fragrance is one by a fragrance YouTuber that we all know and love. And this is just because that fragrance in particular doesn't smell like something that I would wear. It smells high quality. It's really strong. It has great projection and sillage. It has great notes. Notes that when I read the notes, I was like, I'm gonna love this one. But when I got it, it smells a little bit challenging, even for me. And I've worn stuff like Oud Imperium by Navitas, which is well known to be. Anyways, this one is a little bit challenging, and even though I've sampled that one, this still takes the cake as my least worn or least favorite fragrance, Victorian Tobacco. I kept the bottle because I love Ashton and I want to support him any way possible. I don't have a full bottle though. I got this decant for a very great price, and this 50 milliliter cost me like $40, which is a great deal seeing as how a full 100 milliliter bottle sells for about $205. Now, as you can see, I haven't really used any of it. It's almost completely full still, and I don't know if you can see, but inside here there's a lot of sediments and residue of sorts. But this fragrance, you see, I sniff it and it doesn't smell bad, it doesn't smell horrid, it's just challenging and it's just so photorealistic. When you smell it, you have an image painted in your mind of something very, very close to what the namesake of this fragrance is. Victorian Tobacco is from Galleria Parfums, which, as I said before, is Ashton's fragrance line. The nose behind this one is Jorge Lee, and it was released in 2020. The notes in this are gin, juniper berries, clary sage. It has apple geranium in the top, tobacco leaf, Indonesian patchouli leaf, Virginia cedar, and oak in the mid, and beeswax, vanilla husk, Haitian vetiver, guaiac wood, and tonka bean in the base. Yes. So this, most of what you get is a very dry cigar tobacco. The cedar notes in this one are prominent. You have a little bit of influence and shape given to it by the patchouli, the vanilla, the tonka bean. When you first spray this, first spray, you most definitely get that gin note, that gin vibe. It just opens up fresh, unique. Listen, I'm talking about it passionately because I do love fragrances, and this is a work of art, trust me. But the scent is just, I don't know when to wear it. I live in a hot country, and this smells like a Victorian tobacco shop, a cigar store in the mid 1800s or 1700s. And man, I'm gonna spray this on right now just so we can, for the sake of this video, so we can smell it. Yeah, you get that fresh gin, juniper berry, astringent kind of smell in the beginning, which I really like. If it maintained through a little bit longer, it would be great. Then it settles, you have that apple vibe coming through. It really does change with time. I gotta tell you, this is a really well made fragrance, really, really well made. Very good niche fragrance, but a little bit challenging for me. Yeah, apple note is coming in. I'll let this dry down a little bit more. Maybe we'll get more of the other notes, but I definitely see why these notes are listed as part of the fragrance breakdown, because this fragrance really does smell like the notes that are here. It settles down to this dusty tobacco, woody, sort of kind of slightly sweetish undertone from the vanilla and the tonka. The prominent notes, as I said before, are the dry tobacco leaf, the patchouli, the cedar wood and oak. They come together to paint the picture of a very high quality cigar box sitting in an old dusty wood shop. It's really, really good, but not my speed. So okay, now we can dig right into my favorite fragrance house and my least favorite fragrance house. My least favorite fragrance house, and this is by no means a diss to the ones of you who really like it, who really enjoy the releases from this fragrance house. It's very popular, very well known, very well respected. But to me, I just find that these fragrances are not so much made for any and everyone, and I feel like maybe they're challenging to the point that they are a little bit too challenging, and it's not easy to blind buy. So that house is Etat Libre d'Orange. Maybe I was traumatized because the first smell or scent that I had from them or sampled from them was Sécrétion Magnifique. Not a great introduction to a house. The best ones I do like from them or did like from them are Fat Electrician and Someone Like You. However, those are popularly some of the more accessible, mass appealing fragrances. I haven't ventured out to sample too many of them because I just feel like I pay for the samples, I get them, I sniff them and I don't like them. So they just sit there and evaporate. Now my favorite fragrance house, and the reason why this is my favorite fragrance house, and I say this very loosely because I love a lot of fragrance houses. You have Dior, I love Chanel, you know, I love John Varvatos, I love a lot of fragrance houses. The reason I like this house more than others is because it's a niche house. It only makes fragrances. However, the price on these is unbeatable for a niche house. The quality in these is magnificent. This is magnificence. And I mean, just it's a total package. You have so much versatility. The fragrances rarely smell the same, like in some fragrance houses. They're not completely mass appealing, but they are accessible. They are easy to wear. Most of them are, at least. And quality, man. History. This is a historic house. As a matter of fact, this is a house that's been around for over 170 years. And my favorite fragrance house in general of all time, as of this video, is none other than the House of Guerlain. It was started by Pierre-Louis Guerlain. He's passed now, but I can't thank him enough. Honestly, this is considered by many a niche house because it only makes fragrances. However, a lot of people consider it designer because of how accessible, both price-wise and scent-wise, all their fragrances are. Now, the quality here is excellent. They don't smell like your mass-appealing blue monsters. They don't smell like something that anybody would be wearing. But at the same time, they don't smell too challenging for you to be able to rock them, whoever you may be. You will find, if you sample enough of these Guerlain fragrances, you will find quite a few of them are very much to your liking. So that's why Guerlain is my favorite house of all time. Now let's go into the ones that I have from here. This is in no particular order, although this one that I'm going to talk about now is most likely my least liked of all of them. And this is a 50 milliliter bottle of Homme Boisé. Let me tell you about Homme Boisé. This is lime and liquor. That's basically it. It's a mojito inside of a bottle that smells just so radiant, so fresh, so masculine. This is not one that I would feel very safe to recommend to a woman. Reason being, it smells like you are at a bar and you've had a little bit too much to drink. Let's spray so you guys can see the sprayer and I can remind myself of how it smells. Yeah, lime. Some kind of alcohol, liquor. Let's look up the notes. That's what I get from it. You have some woodiness and vetiver in the base, definitely. Yeah. The dry down is woody and vetivery. It smells kind of like vetiver which is from their house. The dry down, I mean, if you take out the lime and take out the woods, then it ends up just being like vetiver. So, yeah. It's really good, but it's not for everyone. I've had to stop this video multiple times and it's getting annoying. I want to just finish it already. So for the rest of the fragrances that I'm going to be naming, I won't go too deep into no breakdown, history, blah, blah, blah. I'll just tell you what I think about them, what they smell like to me, and that's pretty much it. Next one from the House of Guerlain is L'Instant de Guerlain Eau de Toilette. This is really nice. It's a fresh, lemony, cacao, patchouli concoction that just is blended very well. You could separate the different notes. You could really smell them, but they come together to give you this wonderful scent. And as it dries down, the scent changes. It becomes a little bit more woody. I really like it. I wouldn't say it's the best one out of all of the ones that I have here, but it is just around the mid, more or less. The next one is similar to the first one, but this one is probably one of my favorites from the House of Guerlain. Really, really nice, freshy, masculine. It's also mass appealing. Compliment puller. I've gotten a lot of compliments because of this one. And this one is just your old-fashioned Guerlain Homme L'Eau de Toilette. This one came out before L'Eau Boisé, and this one right here. This one at first blast smells exactly like Iris Spring. Wow, this is a good fragrance to wear if you just bathe with original Iris Spring. Throughout the life of the fragrance, it smells pretty much the same, but the notes in this one are very similar to the ones in L'Eau Boisé, however, with different prominence. Basically, the ones in this one that are the most prominent are the woods, the vetiver, the that lemon lime combo that comes out really, really nice. I really like it. Doesn't last too long, but it's alright. All right, the next one is one that will forever be in my fragrance collection. It's beautiful, it's deep, it's rich, it's woody, it's masculine, and it's just so realistic. It's vetiver, okay? Vetiver Pour Homme by Guerlain. Wonderful fragrance. Eau de Toilette concentration, this one. Oh, man. This one will always be in my collection because this smells wicked. It's a little bit challenging, don't get me wrong. It's not very easy to wear. It's not something that everybody's gonna like and gonna give you compliments like the one before. That one is beast. This one, however, is just so unique, so beautiful, so nice, so woody. It's just my type of fragrance. It's green, it's brown, it's brown. Don't get me wrong, brown as in woody, okay? Not the other brown. And it's just wonderful. For spring, for fall, this one right here is a beast. Next one. The next one is an oldie, but it's definitely a goodie. And this one is Habit Rouge Eau de Toilette. Oh my God. Jesus. This is so fabulous. This is so fabulous. This is so sweet, beautiful, fabulous, gorgeous, magnificent, eloquent, complex, opulent. I'm so sorry, but this just takes me to a different world. This one is citrus, rose, leather. You can smell a little bit of vanillicness inside there. I don't know if vanilla is a note, but this is what I get. The forefront, of course, are the ones that I just named. The leather, which is a clean leather. It's not an animalic leather. It's very fresh because of that citrus in it. And the rose, man, the rose is borderline feminine, but more masculine, much more masculine than feminine. It's just right at the borderline, a little bit before the borderline between masculine and feminine. This one, as I said, is an oldie. It came out God knows when. I can't remember, in the 70s, I think, and it's still going strong today. That talks a lot about how good this fragrance is. If you haven't tried it, please do. You won't regret it. It's wonderful. Next one. The next one is also an oldie but a goodie. It's one of my preferred ones from the House of Guerlain. It is that classic early 90s, late 80s vibes. It has just so much masculinity behind it. So many notes in there that are blended so well that you can't really pick one or the other out of it and say that's what it smells like. And of course, I'm talking about Heritage by Guerlain. Man, this is Heritage Eau de Toilette. I love the cap on this. It looks really like a piece of wood that they just took and clapped on it. It's wonderful. I like it. Contrary to popular opinion, I actually like the form of these bottles. A lot of people just say it looks generic, it looks cheap. Not to me. These look great. This is one of those fragrances whose sillage, the sillage, the trail that you leave behind you, that presence fills a room. And it's wondrous. It's masculine, woody, resinous, herbaceous, just really, really well done. I don't even know how to describe this. You get spices in there, you get woods, you get a little bit of freshness. It's definitely not a summer scent, but for spring, for fall, maybe for even winter, it's really, really good. You can even pull it off in summer. If you spray once or twice, 3 times max, you can pull it off. This one is great. Next one is Date Night Extraordinaire, and this one is, can you guess? That's right. L'Homme Idéal Eau de Parfum by Guerlain. Whoa. Yo, look, okay. Almond, citrus, amber, vanilla. Is there a caramel in there? I can't remember off the bat, but this is vanillic. It smells almondy. It smells delicious. It smells like a great date night, autumn evening, spring evening, winters, maybe if it's not too cold. Fragrance. You can wear this on cooler evenings in the summer as well. Really great fragrance. As I said before, really good date night fragrance. And there were rumors recently that it was getting discontinued. Thankfully, I think those were false because this is amazing. Next one. Now, this one is the last one from the House of Guerlain that I'm going to talk about. And I mean, how many of you don't have this in your collection? Sadly, it is discontinued. However, it got so hyped when it first got discontinued that everybody went out about it. L'Homme Ideal Cologne. L'Homme Ideal Cologne is by far my favorite Guerlain. I'm sorry. You can hate me if you want to. Yes, it's better than the Eau de Parfum to me. And this is one of the older bottles. I guess it got discontinued before they changed the bottle style. It has that white collar around it. Oh man, this one smells like a lemon sorbet or lemon souffle. It just smells like an ice cream that's based around lemon, vanilla, and almonds. Oh, I'm sorry, you guys didn't get to see the spray. I'll do it again for you. Even if it's discontinued and hard to get now, I love you guys. I love you guys. Jeez. Look, okay, guys. Guerlain, Thierry Vasser, Jean-Paul Guerlain. I need to ask you a question right now. And it's a very important and very serious question. Why the hell did you discontinue this? This is brilliant! And maybe it didn't sell. Maybe people just didn't wrap their heads around it too much. Maybe it's because the performance is poor. People just stopped buying it. But the scent on this one, bro, man. Very uplifting, very woody, lemony, almondy, fresh, creamy. C'est magnifique. This is a magnificent, okay? This is a magnificent. This is a scent that embodies why my fragrance channel is called Magnificent. It's for fragrances like this one. This is magnificent. I love it. All right, last but not least, I'm going to talk about a fragrance that maybe none of you all saw coming. It is the fragrance that used to be my most hated fragrance before I got the 50 ml of Victorian tobacco. And then again, I'm going to rephrase that. I don't hate any of these two. I like both of them. However, I just find Victorian tobacco way too challenging to wear. Therefore, I do not. The fragrance I'm talking about is one that also got hyped by Ashton from Jensen's. And I guess that's just his kind of taste, those challenging niche fragrances. And I can't blame him because he has so many. He smelled it all. He just wants something new that'll just blow his mind. So I guess I understand. And it's this one by a Swiss Arabian. It's Attar al-Ghutra, or Attar al-Ghutra in English. Okay, so Attar al-Ghutra is definitely not for everyone. It's supposed to smell something like Tuscan leather, but this one right here, other than being super beast mode, super projecting, super sillage, super long lasting, super everything that has to do with performance, you get this borderline animalic leather, suede, raspberry, bergamot. You should see my daughter's face. Come here, baby, come here. Come. Yeah, come. Smell this. And look at the camera first. Look straight in the camera. What do you think?
Yeah, it smells nice.
It smells nice? That wasn't the face that you put on just now. She was like, love you. Thanks for your help, baby. Go ahead and play. I was holding her tight because the fragrances are all right here and they're on a small table, and if she hits them over, then. Now this one, it took time, but it grew on me. I guess I get that leathery raspberry vibe. It's a little creamy. It's nice. Maybe it macerated, and now that it has macerated, it smells better, but it's definitely no longer my most hated fragrance. It's one of those guys that you buy, you put it on, and you hate it, and then with time, wearing it over and over again, sniffing it through the bottle, spraying it over and over again to smell what it smells like, it just grows on you, and that's it. That's probably now my second or third least worn fragrance, but I do like it. I do like that much more now than in the beginning. In the beginning, I used to compare it to smelling a mechanic's armpit after a long day's work, wearing a leather jacket with suede interior and raspberry deodorant. Really not good. But yeah, so those are the fragrances we're going to talk about today. Hope you enjoyed this episode. It's a little long. I'll try and edit it to bring it in and make it as short as possible. I'm Hannibal. This is Magnificence. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you got some facts. Hope you saw some fragrances that appeal to you. If you like any of these or own any of these, tell me what you guys think in the comment section. What's your favorite fragrance house? What's your favorite fragrance? What's your least worn fragrance? Comment below. Like, comment, and subscribe if you're on YouTube. It's probably not going to be uploaded to Instagram, but like, comment, follow if you see this poster on Instagram. And peace.
Al ver el sol brillar de tu rostro al despertar, y lo único que hago es pensar.